From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Wednesday, September 23rd, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
There's not an end in sight, and they don't have an answer for us.
Bars and nightclub owners say they are fed up with the coronavirus restrictions in Indianapolis. This morning, why they say their rights are being violated. Absentee ballots are now in Marion County mailboxes. Working for you, why election officials say some ballots have an error. And next year's travel plans are already being impacted by the coronavirus. New this morning, we're looking at when travel could get back to normal.
And we want to thank you for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Raphael, good morning to you back in your Johnson County studio this morning. Just like normal, right?
Back in the living room, and Lauren, I happened to stop by here in Franklin at the Johnson County Historical Museum, and of course they let me borrow one of their artifacts for this morning. This is called an umbrella, and so Todd Carlson, when will we ever use this thing? I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this thing, but it can open up. I mean... Todd, help me out here, buddy.
I see that you scraped the dust off of it first before you opened it up, so that's the good news, at least. Maybe on Sunday you could use the umbrella once again, as, it just continues to be extremely dry. We're now entering a period almost getting up to 2012 territory. That occurred earlier in the year, back in June and July, but it's a very dry stretch of weather, over 30 days in Indianapolis now without any rainfall. Temperatures are in the 40s here this morning, 48 in Richmond, 53 in Indy, but there's not a lot of rain in the forecast here. We'll increase the cloud cover a little bit throughout the day, and there is some rain just to our south, but this is a 3-hour loop, and I'll just keep my finger here for you. And look, the rain just doesn't advance much to the north. It's just running into a lot of dry air, so unfortunately all that is going to miss us throughout the course of the day today, but we will see the clouds from that storm system. Even with clouds increasing this afternoon, temperatures still will be topping off in the mid to upper 70s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic for your commute. Traveling up to the northeast side, maybe you're a driver in Hamilton County, Madison County, and you're traveling on I-69. No problems here from our view at State Road 37 in Fishers. You can see traffic there is traveling up to speed both northbound and southbound and on the ramp system. So that is great news this morning. No crashes to report around the metro area at this early hour. Of course, we'll keep our eyes on your roads throughout your Wednesday and let you know if there are any issues. Raphael?
On the road to recovery, bars and nightclubs have been some of the hardest hit, Lauren, as you know, because of the pandemic. And more than a dozen businesses owners are now suing the Marion County Health Department as well as the city of Indianapolis.
And so WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson joining us live this morning with why they say those restrictions violate their rights. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren and Raphael. So dozens of restaurants and nightclubs and bars are a part of this lawsuit. Some of them just right behind me. Jokers, Happy Dolls, 247, and After 6, all saying that the restrictions violate their constitutional rights of equal protection under the law of singling out their businesses. Under the latest county order, live entertainment and dancing are not allowed at bars, clubs, or restaurants. All three must also close at midnight. But capacity at bars and clubs is more restricted than restaurants, and bars and clubs had to shut down completely for about 6 weeks over the summer. Ryan Greb, the owner of Taps and Dolls and several other clubs, is a part of the lawsuit.
There's not an end in sight, and they don't have an answer for us. Mayor Hogsett wants to keep setting down these rules for us. We keep implementing them, but they seem getting more stringent as we go. Read some news articles today that 41% of Indianapolis bars and restaurants won't be around after this pandemic, maybe 4 to 6 months from now. And that's very unfortunate because there's a lot of small businesses that deserve to still be here. And if the city would help us find a way, then maybe we could have these cutback measures. But for now, you're making us survival of the fittest out here.
Now, the plaintiffs are asking that the court find the orders unlawful. In a response, a spokesperson for the mayor's office told WRTV the city does not comment on pending litigation. However, he added, quote, Mayor Hogsett fully supports the Marion County Public Health Department's leadership and ongoing health orders, which have slowed the spread of the virus in our city and continue to save lives. So for the full list of bars and nightclubs that are a part of this lawsuit, you can head to WRTV.com. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Let's turn now to the coronavirus pandemic and the impact here on our state. Looking at the numbers, state health officials reporting 652 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday, meaning since the pandemic began, nearly 113,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. Health officials also confirming 6 new coronavirus-related deaths. Since March, nearly 3,300 Hoosiers have died with the virus. This morning, we want to highlight the pandemic's impact on Boone County. Since the pandemic began, the county northwest of Indianapolis has reported 951 total cases. 6 of those cases were reported on Tuesday. The county has a 7-day positivity rate of 2.8%. Raphael.
Lauren, Indiana's statewide mask mandate could expire on midnight Friday. We should find out later today if Governor Eric Holcomb plans on extending the mandate during his update. That update will happen today at 2:30 in the afternoon. Of course, WRTV will air the update here on air and, of course, on our Facebook page. The governor has defended the mandate, saying it's helping keep coronavirus-related deaths and hospital stays far below the levels Indiana saw during April and May. This morning, new regulations by the FDA could delay the president's promise of a coronavirus vaccine by Election Day. The FDA is reportedly assessing scenarios before giving an emergency use authorization for a vaccine. One scenario could tell vaccine makers they need to wait 2 months after giving all their study participants second doses of the vaccine. Another scenario would have companies wait 60 days after giving half their trial participants a second dose. Drug companies Pfizer and Moderna began phase 3 clinical trials in July. Both companies have given second doses to less than half of their participants.
And at 6:06, Raphael, the deadline to request an absentee ballot to vote by mail here in Indiana is less than 1 month away. That's October 22nd. This morning, the Marion County Election Board says it sent out 50,000 ballots. But if you got one already, take a really close look at it, because a portion of those were impacted by a clerical error. The Election Board is asking voters to make sure that the precinct listed on their ballot and the ballot envelope are accurate. And on the back of your ballot, you want to make sure there are 2 sets of signed election clerk initials. You can check your precinct by visiting indianavoters.com. Make sure that's correct. Call the Marion County Election Board if you need to get a new ballot. We want your vote to count. We put together everything you need to know for the general election in one section of our website, so be sure to visit WRTV.com/vote in 2020. That'll answer any questions you may have before you cast your ballot this fall. Well, WRTV Investigates has been following a controversy within the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation for more than a year now.
It's a story that our Kara Kenny has really dug into for a year. As you mentioned, school leaders have faced criticism for how they handled sexual misconduct allegations involving a teacher and a student. 3 candidates are challenging 2 incumbents for 2 open school board seats in Northwest Hendricks. The challengers are David Pyatt, Abby Morgan, and Joe Brooks. The incumbents, Jim DiAgostino and Craig Peoples, have been criticized for removing public comments from board meetings and for not taking swifter action involving misconduct involving Tri-West employees. All 3 challengers say they want to make changes and improve transparency and communication between the board and the community. Now, WRTV will be talking to all 3 challengers. Again, Abby Morgan, Joe Brooks, and David Pyatt live on the WRTV Facebook page tomorrow at 5 p.m. Make sure to join us for this school board candidate forum for Northwest Hendricks schools.
It is 6:08. This morning, a special prosecutor and judge have been assigned to the 4th of July battery case at Lake Monroe. The attorneys for the 2 men facing charges for criminal confinement, battery resulting in moderate bodily injury and intimidation are requesting that this case be tried in another county. Sean Purdy and Jerry Cox were charged with assaulting Vox Booker. Booker says someone threatened to, quote, get a noose during the incident. The defendants claim that Booker and his friends were trespassing. At this point, a decision has not been made to change the venue for this case.
Businesses across central Indiana are looking at bringing employees back to the office. Coming up, how one company is making things easier for employers to rebound.
Plus, a hotel with one of the best views of IMS sits unfinished this morning. Working for you, WRTV is getting answers as to when construction there could start again. Todd.
And Lauren, as you look at our satellite radar picture, there's a lot of green on it. Rain stretching all the way from Texas now into southern portions of Kentucky. And it looks like that rainfall will be heading right here to central Indiana. We need it. Unfortunately, what you see on your screen is not heading our direction. I'll let you know when rain chances do return to central Indiana coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:12 here on our Wednesday, and we're keeping a close eye on traffic as you are heading to work, maybe school early this morning. Here's a look south of downtown I-65, a view near Keystone Avenue, where we have that major bridge project going on. So again, a little bit of construction in that area, shifting traffic, especially in the southbound lanes to the northbound side of the interstate. But as you can see, everything is traveling up to speed there at this hour this morning. We'll continue to keep you updated. So Raphael, we know many Hoosiers like you have settled into working from home, but we know many offices, they're looking at implementing a return to work plan that allows their employees to remain safe and healthy.
And this morning, an Indy-based company has developed a COVID-19 solution, right, that is ready to help that process to get employees back to work much easier. HCI transforms lab data into personalized healthcare insights. This is to ensure that the right patient gets exactly the right diagnostic test from the lab and that the correct prescription as well gets to them, which is key. Now, during this pandemic, an important signal you can find with people's health is how risky is the area based on the infection perspective. HCI created Workforce Advisor, which is a way for employers to track real-time lab results. It's a local risk index to help employers support the health and safety of their employees.
The fact that we're tied into 22,000 lab testing locations across the United States, our cloud system is able to give you really what looks almost like a weather forecast, but that instead of looking at tornadoes and hurricanes, it's looking at where is the COVID virus spreading and where is it subsiding. And you can use that information then to more effectively plan your return to work and return to life programs that are underway across the country.
So let me get my better prescription glasses out. This is HC1. I thought it was an I, but it's a 1. Also has an online database available for the public to check out for free, so you can keep an eye on COVID spread in your area. It is easy and free to access. We have a link to that on the WRTV app, again to HC1. Hiring Hoosiers, WRTV's commitment to connecting you to jobs and training resources every single day of the week. And Best Buy is adding staff ahead of the holiday shopping season, of course. Each store across the country will host job fairs from noon to 7 this Thursday and Friday. You could be interviewed and hired right on the spot. Positions in a variety of departments are also available. And the U.S. Postal Service is holding a drive-through job fair on Saturday. It goes from 10 to 1 at the district office on Vincennes Road. That's on the city's north side. That's near 86th and Michigan, again on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Good luck with those jobs.
Well, this morning, more Indiana counties are telling residents to avoid lighting a fire. 3 more Indiana counties have added burn bans, so listen up. Davies, Lawrence, Martin, Park, and Vermilion counties are all under burn bans right now. This morning, there's no word on when those bans could end. The lack of rainfall across the state has Hoosiers experiencing some abnormally dry conditions. And Todd, we have a burn pit in our backyard full of sticks from a past windstorm, and it's just going to stay unlit for a while. I think.
That's what you need to do. Obviously, it's extremely dry. We've had some of those field fires over the weekend, now more burn bans. And this is the driest stretch of weather we've really seen since 2012. If you remember back, that was the year we had all those 100-degree days. A lot of the reservoirs started to dry up. I remember flying in the station helicopter over Morse Reservoir, and the coves were just basically dry. Now, we're not quite there yet, but there's not a ton of rain in this forecast going forward, including today. We're starting off partly cloudy this morning. As we get into the afternoon hours, temperatures are back above normal. And then as we get into the evening hours, you will notice a little more in the way of cloud cover. But the storm is going to stay to our south. That storm, and as I'll show you in just a second, is the remnants of Tropical Storm Beta. Light jacket needed this morning as you walk out the door. 47 in Terre Haute, 49 in Richmond, as well as in the Greenfield area. Temperatures hold steady from this point forward throughout the remainder of the next couple hours. And then once the sun comes up, then you see the temperatures start to climb pretty quickly. So here's that cloud cover. It's clearer to the north, more clouds down to the south. And as we expand out, you notice the rainfall here as you work your way towards Paducah, Kentucky and southern Kentucky, and then it extends all the way down to Texas. And you would expect it just to continue to stream to the north. That is not going to happen. It's going to slide to the south. The dry air is going to eat away at that rainfall advancing to the north. It basically just dries up the rain as it tries to fall from the clouds. That's why today is going to be a dry day for us with just a little more in the way of cloud cover than we've seen. Temperatures to the north today are going to be a little bit warmer than southern locations because the clouds are a little bit thinner. 77 today in Indy as well as Martinsville, 79 in Shelbyville, and then where those clouds are a little bit thicker. Not bad, still seasonable, about 75 in Bloomington. This evening, more clouds than sunshine. Temperatures from the 70s eventually down into the 60s overnight tonight with the additional cloud cover around. Temperatures tomorrow should be in the 50s, pretty widespread across the area. And then throughout the day tomorrow, kind of the opposite of today. Today we start more sunny and a little more cloudy. Tomorrow we start with more in the way of clouds, and then we end it mainly clear across the area. Here's a look at your 7-day planning forecast. And as we go forward, Friday we make the jump to 80 degrees. And then as we work our way into Saturday, all the way up to 83 with dry conditions. Some spotty showers possible on Sunday at 81. That's the first cold front that comes through, knocks us back down into the mid-70s. And then the second cold front comes through Monday into Tuesday. That one may have a little more in the way of moisture with it, but definitely not a drought buster, but it does really cool us off. Tuesday is going to start a stretch of very chilly weather that's going to take us into the middle of next week. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at your commute. This is up on the northwest side at I-65 and I-865 in the dogleg. So if you're traveling on the northwest side of Indy, maybe traveling in from Boone County, traffic should be traveling up to speed, as you can see right here in all directions. We do have an ongoing construction project happening in the southbound left lane as you're approaching State Road 334 in the Whitestown area. So keep that in mind throughout the week as you're traveling through that spot. But overall, you shouldn't run into any issues here for your commute.
Lauren, people probably have driven past this, a half-constructed hotel right across the street from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're now being told it's set to resume operations, or at least construction, sometime in the spring. WRTV has been following the progress or the lack of progress on this project now for more than a year. Construction stopped abruptly last summer. Town leaders say the developer Loftus Robinson had financing issues, and now we've learned a new partnership between Loftus Robinson and Indianapolis-based MHG Hotels will get the project started again. The owner of Dawson's on Main is excited about the news.
They've done so much work up and down Main Street, and that's kind of the first thing you see, and it's kind of been an eyesore. So we're excited I think it'll be big, bringing a lot of people from outside the area. That's what hotels are for, and we're excited to have them.
Loftus Robinson released a statement saying that they are excited to have MHG Hotels added as a co-developer and partner on this project.
Well, most travel plans for this year have been canceled or changed in some way by the coronavirus pandemic. So working for you, we're looking at how next year's travel is also being impacted so you don't waste your money.
It's the end of the Mirrorball Road for Charles Oakley and Emma Slater. Last night, they became the first couple voted off of Dancing with the Stars. But listen, don't worry. Be happy, because Charles Oakley and Emma Slater will be live on Good Morning America coming up at 7 o'clock right here on WRTV. And by the way, a big good morning on this Wednesday to Sheridan, Spencer, and Stylesville. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on WRTV.
Welcome back. It is 6:23 here on your Wednesday, and we're keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. Take a look here at our camera at I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. Everything here on the near east side is traveling up to speed, but we do just have a traffic alert for you slightly north of this spot. Police have the road blocked off on 30th Street, just a little west of Keystone Avenue. Keep that in mind as you're traveling out there this morning. You can use several streets as detours, including 38th Street or 25th Street. So we'll continue to monitor that and let you know when we have more information. Raphael, though, right now it is time to talk about what's trending at 6.
So, Lauren, I have a big question for you at this moment. What time is it right now in Studio A?
6:24.
Well, here in the Johnson County studio, it's wine o'clock.
Oh, my.
And here's why. Yeah, because the wine event calendar is returning to Costco this year. So there's so much wine there and here in Johnson County. Each box comes with a 24 half bottles of wine from a unique taste from December the 1st until Christmas. Flying Blue, which created the calendar, says they will only be available at Costco stores starting the first week of October. They reportedly cost $99. I make my own wine here at home, so I don't have to worry about the calendar. But if you like the calendar, go buy the calendar.
Yeah, we'll send you to the one off county line down there, Raphael, the first week of October since you're close. Yeah, we'll send you some money. Okay, so a woodworker out in Santa Fe noticed a high demand for children's desks on charity sites in the area. So David Gunter used YouTube tutorials to shape the layout for homemade desks as part of his community desk project. He says it only takes a few hours for you to turn pieces of wood into a study desk. And the best part is the kids get to decorate them however they want for your at-home setup for virtual learning. That's so cool.
I could use a sort of a anchor desk like that. Maybe I'll give him a call. Maybe he can hook me up. I'll watch his YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations to Gloria Jimenez. Gloria is our hometown hero on this Wednesday. Gloria currently leads the Indiana Latino Expo, and she's the executive director of that organization. She's focused on addressing health and economic issues impacting people statewide. A big thank you to her and to all of those doing their personal best during this pandemic. Now let's check on your local forecast with our meteorologist Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Hey, Raphael, good morning. It's another day featuring quite a bit of sunshine and temperatures that are running at or above normal. Not much has changed in that department as far as the temperatures go. We've been running above normal the past couple days, so that puts highs in the mid-70s to right around 80 in some locations. And we're going to stay above normal for the foreseeable future. It's not until Monday that a stronger cold front comes through, and that's going to kind of flip the weather pattern 180 degrees as we're going to go from well above normal to well below normal. But until then, enjoy the sunshine and then look at those temperatures over the weekend. The first full weekend of fall here, Lauren, and we're talking about highs that are going to be in the low to mid 80s.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, a growing number of colleges are scrapping spring break 2021 as COVID-19 pushes travel delays into the next year. Working for you, John Matarese looks at when it may be safe to travel again so you don't waste your money.
Back during the COVID shutdown, way back in March, most of us assumed things would be back to normal by the start of next year. But now it's not looking that way, and Carnival Cruise Lines just confirmed it. It was our pandemic travel dream, the virus disappearing, and travel to Mexico, Canada, and Europe returning by New Year's. But Carnival is again pushing back its return to cruising from U.S. ports from September to November, and now says many of its ships may not sail again till spring. Even European travel guru Rick Steves doesn't want to travel now, saying he doesn't want to have to quarantine when he gets to a new country. Besides, Canada and most European countries are still not welcoming Americans and don't know when they will. So for the Doesn't That Stink file, the travel planning limbo most of us are in right now. Where are we going for spring break? Who knows? And that stinks. Some colleges are already canceling spring break to prevent virus spread. However, travel agents say there's one thing already booking up: beach houses from travelers using all those vouchers from last year's canceled trips. Until a vaccine's available and air and cruise travel feels safe again, many travelers will probably just stick with road trips. As always, don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
All right, John, thanks. For more cost-saving tips and ideas, you can visit the money section of our website, WRTV.com.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Wednesday morning, here is your 6:30 news feed. Virtual classes will begin back in session today for Indianapolis public schools. The school district was forced to cancel classes virtually on Tuesday because of a system-wide internet outage. IPS says internet service was restored last night. The district will also reschedule a virtual parent meeting on the return to in-person learning. That meeting will now be at 6 p.m. next Monday, September the 28th.
Notre Dame's football game with Wake Forest this Saturday has been postponed after Notre Dame players tested positive for COVID-19. The school there says 7 players tested positive Monday. Combined with testing last week, 13 players are now in isolation. All Notre Dame football-related activities are also on hold until further testing is completed.
The next season for the Indiana Pacers and the rest of the NBA may not start until the next new year. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says his best guess is that the new season will not begin until at least January. The current season won't end until next month due to the pandemic. Silver also says it is still unknown whether the teams will be able to return to Bankers Life Fieldhouse and other home arenas next season.
Here at 6:30, want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. We hope you have a great Wednesday. Guys, we are halfway through the work week.
And you know, Lauren, many schools are very happy with Todd's consistent forecast because that means with all these extra rules about COVID-19, they can have classes outside. Parents that are homeschooling know when to take their kids outside. So, Todd, you have a lot of new fans who appreciate this nice weather pattern.
Oh, that's good. The more fans, the better, right? Obviously. And the weather has definitely cooperated for outdoor activities, whether it's recess, outdoor classes, just you getting out and about to walk or exercise, go golfing. The weather has been very dry, but it's been good to get outdoors at least. That's a good way to look at it. 51 degrees right now in Bloomington and Lafayette, 53 in Indianapolis. We're starting to see a little bit of high thin cloud cover make its way through the area, but overall today we are going to start off mostly sunny. This is just some high thin cloud cover. The thicker clouds are still down to our south where we find this rain that stretches all the way down to the Gulf Coast. This is the remnants of Tropical Storm Beta. Unfortunately, this is not going to make its way here into our area. So it's going to be another dry day for us with partly cloudy skies for the noon hour. Temperatures at that point, though, already up into the low 70s. Then you will notice a trend towards more mostly cloudy skies as we work our way into the evening hours. But even as these clouds come in, 1, we're not going to deal with any rain, and 2, the temperatures will still be above normal today, topping off in the mid 70s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's another look at I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue on the near east side where everything is traveling up to speed this morning. But just a few blocks north of this camera, we do have a road closure, and it's a busier road for the morning commute. That's 30th Street. It's closed right now between Ralston Avenue and North Keystone Avenue. So west of Keystone Avenue, 30th Street is closed. This is due to police activity. No word right now on what's going on there, but you'll want to avoid that spot. Maybe use 38th Street as a detour instead of taking 30th Street this morning. And of course, as soon as we get any more information, we'll keep you updated. At 6:32, a family is filing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Indiana's Department of Child Services. The lawsuit says the agency's actions tore their family apart.
And Lauren Adam and Laura Huff claim that DCS wrongly took their children from them. The couple says that this happened back in 2018 after a family member falsely accused Adam of sexually abusing their teenage daughter. The Huffs say that DCS then allowed the minor to be interviewed without a parent present in that investigation. The family was then separated for several months.
When this is all said and done, with every breath of our being, we're going to fight to see that this actually gets reformed somehow, some way, so children are truly being protected.
Attorneys for the family say they want to hold DCS accountable and what the department should compensate the family for the violation of their civil rights and emotional distress. They're seeking $3 million in damages. Now, we did reach out to DCS, and they responded this to us here at WRTV. In part, they say state and federal confidentiality laws prohibit DCS from disclosing information, including even if a child is in DCS care. The agency investigates allegations of child abuse and neglect and makes recommendations to the court based on the evidence at hand. They went on to say DCS is charged with ensuring the safety of Indiana children, whether that is by providing services, support, and resources to maintain the family or removing a child from a home due to abuse or neglect.
It is 6:33. Indiana is now approaching 3,300 COVID-19 deaths since the pandemic began. The State Department of Health reporting 9 additional COVID-related deaths in its latest report, bringing the state's total to 3,295. 652 new COVID-19 cases were also reported by the State Department of Health. More than 112,000 total cases have been reported in the state of Indiana so far. Looking nationally now, the U.S. has surpassed 200,000 COVID-19 deaths, according to Johns Hopkins University. Health experts say the number of people who have died from the virus likely could be higher due to undercounting. Despite the numbers, the candidates for the White House are treating the pandemic quite differently while out on the campaign trail.
And President Trump wants to write off those we lost as nobodies. This president is trying to erase the reality we're living today because he thinks it helps him politically.
It affects elderly people with heart problems and other problems. If they have other problems, that's what it really affects. That's it. It affects virtually nobody.
The numbers show that COVID-19 cases are on the rise in more than half of the states across the country. Over the past week, new daily cases in the U.S. have increased by 13% from the average 2 weeks ago.
Good morning to Fishers, Franklin, and Zionsville. More news now. The Centers for Disease Control is now weighing in how to safely celebrate Halloween during this pandemic. The CDC recommends avoiding trick-or-treating, indoor costume parties, and indoor haunted houses. And do not replace your face mask with a costume mask. The agency says those are all high risk. Several health experts, including Indiana's health commissioner, have said recently that they believe those kinds of activities may be able to go on safely depending on the circumstances in each community, but that it's too early to give specific guidance. Now, those comments were made before the CDC issued recommendations.
At 6:35, they say COVID-19 restrictions have cost them millions of dollars, and now they're going to court and trying to get it back. Next, who these businesses are and who they're blaming for the struggle to stay open. It's 6:35. We'll be right back here on Good Morning Indiana.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. And they say that they are being unfairly singled out during this pandemic, which is putting their livelihoods, Lauren, in jeopardy.
And we're talking about several Marion County bars and club owners, and they're taking the city-county government to court over COVID-19 restrictions. Our own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with the argument that those businesses are making. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren and Raphael. So there's more than a dozen bars and nightclubs a part of this lawsuit. Some of them just right behind me. You can see Jokers, Taps and Dolls, 247 and After 6, all a part of that lawsuit with many more joining them. They're saying the current restrictions violate their civil rights. They're saying the restrictions violate their constitutional rights of equal protection under the law by singling out their businesses. Under the latest county order, live entertainment and dancing are not allowed at bars, clubs, or restaurants, and all three must also close by midnight. But capacity at bars and clubs is more restricted than at restaurants, and bars and clubs had to shut down completely for about 6 weeks over the summer. In a press conference earlier this month, Mayor Hogsett saying this.
And I promise you that Dr. Kane and her team will go full footloose on your business if you're operating as a dance club.
We just wanted to get our voices out a bit, get equality amongst the bars and restaurants and nightclubs of Marion County, because the surrounding counties are out there operating it, above and beyond capacities of what the other restrictions are upon us in Indianapolis.
So that was Ryan Greb, the owner of Taps and Dolls, and he says it seems that the COVID numbers in Marion County are getting better and the restrictions keep getting stricter. Marion County's 7-day positivity rate for all tests is 4.7%, while neighboring Hamilton and Johnson counties have a 3.1% positivity rates over that same period. Now, we did reach out to the mayor's office for comment, and they say they do not comment on pending litigation, but the spokesperson did go on to say that Mayor Hogsett fully supports the leadership and the orders given by the Marion County Health Department. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
This morning, let's take you to Howard County, where the pandemic has unfortunately claimed another long-time business, really an institution in Kokomo for more than 7 decades. Today is the last day of business for Moore's Pie Shop on West Elm Street in Kokomo. No more pumpkin or apple, cherry or strawberry, raisin or even pecan or pecan pies, 15 varieties in all. Moore's first opened back in 1946, and the store's message on Facebook simply said, "COVID has not been nice to us." Now, once word got through social media that Moore's was closing, business was brisk as long as customers could stock up on their favorite items. The shop says all that's left going into their final day is some good old pumpkin pie. Get a pie and enjoy some of those slices. It's a partial victory for people afraid that they were about to lose their land. Next, how one county says it will now take its time so that it can shed more light on a major project. Lauren?
And Raphael, it started out as an idea, one that we highlighted right here on WRTV. Coming up, how that entrepreneur and her business could now be on the verge of a big break. Todd?
And as you walk out the door this morning, you may need a light jacket for a few hours here as we see temperatures on average in the 50s. There are some 40s, though, across the area, but will warm quickly today with increasing clouds, and temperatures eventually climb up into the 70s, though. Shouldn't be any weather-related issues for your commute to work or heading home. We do have some changes in your 7-day planning forecast, some you like and some you may not like. We'll detail it coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana, and new this morning, a welcome decision for many people who call Shelby County home. The Planning Commission there is now moving forward with a review of its solar power ordinance starting on October the 6th. Now, this decision comes after county commissioners on Monday rejected pleas for a moratorium to study that very issue. A group opposing what they call solar industrial plants is also concerned that such a project will impact prime farmland. The group also believes the current solar ordinance is weak and does not protect Shelby County landowners and homeowners.
So the socket locket is an adhesive card holder where you can hold up to 1, 2, or 3 cards securely in place.
So you may remember this product and this young entrepreneur from our Hiring Hoosiers series. Katie Gelhausen created this socket locket product here. It sticks to your phone. It allows you to use both your phone grip and you can store your cards at the same time. We traveled up to Elwood and Progressive Plastics where Hoosiers manufacture her product. Well, now the Cicero native is up for a really big opportunity, and she tells us that this could bring even more jobs to the Hoosier state. Katie was selected to pitch her product to buyers at the 2020 Walmart open call. This is her big opportunity to get her product made right here in her hometown onto store shelves of this big box retailer. Out of the 14,000 applications, Katie's product is now a finalist. So we got to catch up with Katie over Zoom about what this means to her and what this pitch could mean for the future of Socket Locket.
Sometimes the buyers do go ahead and make a decision on the spot, but usually the buyer, that's just the starting point of relationship with Walmart. Even like a regional contract, it would be huge for Socket Locket. Hopefully we have a large purchase order and hopefully we can bring a lot of jobs here to the area.
Well, good luck to Katie. She's going to keep us posted on how it all goes. Her presentation will be on October 1st. She gets about 30 minutes to pitch her product. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Socket Locket and see a little bit more about her store, you can visit hiringhoosiers.com. All right, Todd, we need a little invention here to get a little bit of rainfall in our area. We don't have much.
Yeah, you know, we could really use it. This is the driest stretch of weather now that we've seen since that drought we had back in 2012. In the last 35 days, we've only had 0.04 of an inch of rain, and this is at the airport in Indianapolis, and 0.04 of an inch, that's basically next to nothing. And that's why for the month, we're about 2¼ inches below normal, but you can really extend this back. Obviously, we're going 35 days into the end end of August. We need rainfall. We just don't really have a whole lot in the forecast. There's a couple opportunities as we get into the weekend and then next week, but it's not going to be a soaking rain like we need. 53 degrees is the current temperature. The southwest wind there at 8 miles per hour this morning. And skies are mainly clear for the most part right now. It's 46 in Terre Haute, 49 in Greencastle, 48 as you work your way on I-70 from Greenfield through Henry County into the Richmond area. 53 is the current temperature in Tipton. And as we work our way throughout the course of the day today, one thing you'll notice, at least compared to the past few days, is just a little more in the way of cloud cover building in during the course of the day today. And that's due to the clouds from what was Tropical Storm Beta passing to our south. But you notice even with the cloud cover, we have that southwesterly wind. Temperatures will still climb above normal into the mid-70s later on this afternoon. And you already see some of that cloud cover starting to stream into the area. And there's a lot of rainfall that stretches from southern Kentucky all the way down to the center of the storm, which is still now just to the northeast of Houston. But this rain, this is a 3-hour loop, and I'll just keep my hand here for you. You can see it really doesn't advance to the north, and that's because we just have so much dry air in place. So the computer model wants to paint a few isolated showers here in southern locations as we get into the afternoon hours. I just don't think that's going to happen because the air is dry. You probably have to get a little closer to the Ohio River before you enter a few scattered showers into the forecast. This evening, temperatures will fall from the 70s into the 60s under a mostly cloudy sky. Sunset is at 7:40, and then for the day tomorrow, it's kind of the opposite of today. Tomorrow we start off with a little more in the way of cloud cover and then turn it sunny throughout the afternoon. Highs tomorrow getting close to 80 degrees. And then as we look ahead to your forecast, Friday we're very close to 80 degrees as well. Saturday's a warm day into the mid 80s. And then on Sunday, that's the day that there's going to be a front coming through. And there could be a few spotty showers. It's nothing really to worry about at this point as far as outdoor planning goes, but we could use the rainfall. And then another front comes through Monday into Tuesday. That one may have a little bit of moisture with it, or more moisture, I should say. But the biggest difference going from the mid 80s on Saturday to what next week, once we get to Tuesday and beyond, is going to be a very cool week with highs only in the 60s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out there on the roads. One traffic issue we've been mentioning the past hour or so is a closure here. 30th Street blocked between Ralston Avenue and North Keystone Avenue. So west of Keystone Avenue, 30th Street is closed at this time. This is due to police activity. Police have that area blocked off, and we do have a crew at the scene there, so we'll keep you updated as soon as we learn any new information. You may want to take 38th Street or 25th Street as detours for the time being, and we'll have more news coming up for you just after the break. Stick around. Welcome back. We want to give you a live look right now at traffic over here on the near east side, I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue, where everything on the interstate is traveling up to speed. We still have that closure just north of this spot on 30th Street, a little west of Keystone Avenue. And our crew at the scene says this has to do with some sort of domestic situation that happened earlier this morning. Police tell us there is no danger to the community there at this time. Just avoid that spot for your commute. Here at 6:53 on Good Morning Indiana, we want to take a look at some of today's top stories. Raphael.
Lauren, a special prosecutor and judge have been added to the 4th of July case involving that situation at Lake Monroe. The attorneys for the two men facing criminal charges, including confinement, battery resulting in bodily injury, and intimidation, are requesting the case be tried in another county. Sean Purdy and Jerry Cox were charged with assaulting Vox Booker. Booker says someone threatened to get a noose during that incident. The defendants claim that Booker and his friends were trespassing. At this point, a decision has not been made to change the venue for this case.
If you're voting absentee by ballot here in Marion County, you do want to double check your ballot before you send it back in. The Marion County Election Board says some of the ballots contain errors. You want to make sure your precinct listed on your ballot and ballot envelope are accurate, and you can check your precinct number at indianavoters.com. Also on the back of the ballot, make sure there are 2 sets of signed election clerk initials. If those initials are missing or the precinct information is incorrect, you cannot use the ballot to vote. If your ballot has an error, you can call the Marion County Election Board to get a new one mailed out to you. That number is 317-327-5100.
So check your ballot today. Both of Indiana's U.S. senators say they support moving forward with confirming a new Supreme Court justice ahead of the presidential election. Republican Senators Mike Braun and Todd Young say they support holding hearings on a nominee to replace the late iconic Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Just 4 years ago, Senator Young had said confirmation hearings for President Obama's Supreme Court nominee Merrick Garland should not take place. Young and other Republicans argued that the winner of the 2016 election should be allowed to fill the Supreme Court vacancy at that point.
At this morning, Indiana statewide mask mandate is scheduled to expire on Saturday. And we're going to find out later today if Governor Eric Holcomb plans to extend the mandate during his weekly COVID-19 update. That update will happen at 2:30 this afternoon. And you can watch it live here on WRTV and also on the WRTV Facebook page. Holcomb has defended the mandate so far, saying that it helps keep COVID-19 deaths and hospitalizations in our state under control.
Waiting and watching to see what the governor says as we now wait and see what Todd Clausen says about this Wednesday morning. Good morning, TK.
Yeah, good morning, Raphael, Lauren. Good morning, everybody. We're dealing with cool conditions here this morning. We're in the 40s and 50s, so you may need a light jacket, but pleasant this afternoon. Up to 77 degrees, 79 on Thursday, and as we work our way into Friday and Saturday, temperatures well above normal into the 80s. A cold front brings the chance of a few spotty showers on Sunday, but no heavy rainfall, and then much cooler air starts to work in as we will go into Monday and especially into Tuesday. That's when a second cold front comes through. A little better chance of rain with the passage of that second front as we work our way Monday into Tuesday. But none of the rain chances here towards the end of your 7-day planning forecast are drought breakers. We need a good soaking rain throughout the entire day, and that is nowhere to be seen on the horizon.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We are back here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates. Of course, we're keeping you updated from our crew at the scene of 30th Street, just north of this spot here near Keystone Avenue. That's where we do have SWAT on the scene after a domestic situation there earlier this morning. So keep in mind as you're traveling into work or heading to school this morning, 30th Street is closed west of Keystone Avenue. They do tell us there's no danger to the community at this time. Of course, we'll keep you posted. We do want to thank you for watching Good Morning Indiana, and we'll be back here in 25 minutes.